You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to another Up the Turnpike post-game show. Not live, the morning after what is going on. Matt O'Leary with Mitch Anderson. Mitch, how's it going, buddy?
I'm tired because look at these bags. Look at that. Had a hockey last night, which everyone does that. It came home. It's from 8 to 10. It's not super late. Did the Eagle and Duck for our patron. P.S. Sign up to our patron, patreon.com/uptheturnpike. And then I usually sleep in on these days till like 7:45, almost 8 o'clock is when I sleep in on these mornings. But my wife has an off day today, a PD day, and my kids take that as an opportunity to be as loud as they can possibly be. 7:20 in the morning. Guys, what are you doing? So yeah, just lame. My kids were just out of whack because my wife was home for the morning. And she went back to work at 8 to do some stuff. So she was just like in and out, and my kids like freaked out about it type of thing.
Tough start to the day.
Yeah.
Taylor and I have started a new Friday routine that I absolutely love.
Okay.
So we walk to our favorite coffee shop in town, and it's like a 3-mile round trip walk. So I feel like that's a really nice way to start your day. We left at like 7 o'clock this morning, got back a little after 8. Get the blood pumping nice and early too. Like, oh no, that's another reason to look forward to Fridays. Like, yes, we get to walk to insert coffee shop here. No free ads.
Yeah. No free ads. No such thing as a free lunch on Up the Turnpike, baby.
Nope.
That does sound like fun. That does sound like a good time. Do you
epic.
do that on Sundays when you get bagels? Because that seems like a quintessential Long Island thing to do.
It is a very Long Island thing to do. Not every Sunday we do bagels, but this has turned into an every Friday coffee run in the morning. But maybe we might have to add that to the repertoire.
Perhaps. Do you know who did get a bagel?
I hate that you did that. I love that you did that, but I hate that you did that. Islanders shut out on the road in St. Louis. Loser point merchants strike again. The Islanders are 1-1-2 to start their season. They are collecting these points, which a frustrating 1-0 loss. The Islanders definitely had their opportunities in this game to get a puck into the back of the net, just missed out a couple of times. So we'll go through it. Obviously, no goals and regulation to talk about, but I think there's a few things of note in each period that we could hit on, Mitch. In the first period for the Isles, pretty low event. 7 shots for the Isles, 6 for St. Louis. Any strong takeaways from period 1?
It just seems like the Islanders kind of treaded water in that period, which I guess is fine. You're on a road trip, right? Like it's the final game of this road trip. You're just trying to like thinking about getting back home. So let's just ease into this one, guys. And they kind of did that. They led the XG at 5-on-5, which was the entirety of that period, was 52.6%. The high danger 66.7. They only had 2. The Blues won. And then 50% straight up on the the Corsi here. So it was very much a feel it out period, which we'll take whatever. It's a road trip. You're not going to win most of these games. That's okay. Just feel it out. See if you can get something out of it.
Yeah, I'm good with the approach that they took for the first period. Like you said, it very much so felt like a feel it out period. There weren't a ton of shots, but there were no like egregious mistakes that led to an unbelievable chance the other way that Ilya Sorokin had to make like a crazy save it on. I'm sure we'll get into Ilya a lot tonight or today in this video. But he kind of just was able to ease into the game. The second start in a row for him, which I was excited about. I wanted him to get another start after how he played against Colorado. And I thought maybe there was a chance that he wouldn't, because I forget which practice day it was between Monday and Thursday. It might have been Tuesday. That Semyon Varlamov was in the starter crease. So I was thinking, okay, maybe we're going to get a flip flop and you go back to Varley here. But they went with Sorokin and he stood tall. He was good.
He was good. The 9.67 save percentage, I believe, was the last I saw. He stopped 29 of 30 shots. I don't know if they've added 1 or 2 since then. So like pretty good stuff. So I think he stopped like 1.01 goals above expected. Again, if I remember the numbers from last night, sometimes the NHL changes things, right? The official scores, add one or take one off type of thing. But it was 2.01 expected goals, I believe, in all situations for St. Louis. So he stops 1.01. So good job by him. Yeah, 2 games in a row now where he stands up. And that was great because he was not good last year. He was not good.
No, for me, the second period here was the most frustrating period for the Islanders because they had a lot of chances. Bo Horvat hits a post, then he also misses a goal. He was set up beautifully on a goal and just sent it wide, unable to hit an open net, which was a little frustrating. He doesn't do that very often. Like, he's a 30 plus goal scorer. You can pencil him in for 30 plus goals. Normally, he is very, very good with that, like, one timer in the slot sort of setup pass, and just hooked it, sent it way wide. And they also had 2 power play opportunities that they were unable to convert on as well.
Is this not the second game in a row where Bo Horvat hits a few posts, or am I missing a game? Maybe that happened in Dallas, right?
Dallas, yeah, that was against Dallas. But the moral of the story, it's happened a couple times here in their first 4 games, which, but Bo's going to get his goals. Like, I don't want to make this seem like we're coming on and ripping Bo Horvat, but I think frustrated is a fair description. I'm sure he was too. Like, he's not happy going off the ice after this shift, after he put one off the post and then, sent one wide. I'm sure he's not happy with that.
No, exactly. And because that means he's close enough. He beat the goalie, right? It got to the post and it was maybe a quarter of an inch too wide type of thing. And it clips out the post and out type of situation. But I agree with you that they came out in this period and played really well. Like, you look at the Corsi 4 in that period, specifically the graph on natural stat trick, and you see it coming out of the second period, or out of the first into the second, and it drops heavily into the Islanders' favor at like a +9. The graph only goes to +15, and it kind of stays there until they go on power play. So all of their offensive pressure generated 2 power plays, almost back to back, really. And that's exactly what you're looking for, right? You're generating that offense, and then they create 5 shots on those power plays. They get 0.42 xG only, which isn't great, but 2 high danger chances, and they can't bury one. You built up all of this momentum and you did nothing with it, which is really, I think, kind of the frustrating part of this game. Is this first, like, I don't know, 15, not even 10 minutes of that second period where you had him. You could have taken this game and you didn't.
There was an opportunity. I forget, we mentioned the Bo Horvat ones. I don't remember, forgive me, if it was on the power play or just after, but Maxim Tiplikov was down low and there was kind of like a scramble for the puck. He wasn't able to corral it and get it to go. And then Palmieri on like a backhand, or it might have hit off his foot and it was trickling towards the net and it hits off like the outside of the post. And that was another one where it's just like, damn, it feels like another missed opportunity. And we've praised Maxim Tiplikov a lot because he's won a ton of those battles down low, and we praise him for using his size. That was one of the spots where you would just like to see him be like, I'm an elite or a very good net front presence guy. I'm going to, bang this thing home.
Yeah, and like, it is his 4th game in the NHL, so he's going to learn. I would hope to turn those around. If we had preached, maybe not preached, but we had talked, not on this show, but on our Patreon, about being maybe a little bit more patient with Wahlstrom. Not that we're definitely going to be, but we should add that context in the back of our mind. So if we're going to do that for him, Wahlstrom, we should also probably do it for Tiplikov.
Yeah.
In this specific situation of being in the top 6. So yeah, maybe another game he throws those in type of thing, but just, you're right, frustrating second period because they were the better team and they built themselves a proper second period on the road and they didn't get anything out of it.
No, and also, Mitch, like, this kind of goes back to what we talked about in our most recent pod where we were discussing them offensively at 5-on-5, and it feels like another game where special teams hurt them. I know they killed a penalty kill, but they were 0 for 2 on the power play. And you look at it, they are 26th in the NHL on power play percentage so far this year and 25th in penalty kill. And like, that's not good. And yeah, like, we could be happy that they play 5-on-5. And like, obviously, spoiler alert, they lose in overtime, and that's 3-on-3. It's just, that's something that sticks out to me. I understand, like, most of the game is played at 5-on-5, and it's important to be good at 5-on-5. But keyword being but, you can't be bad at the other areas. 3-on-3 overtime essentially being an automatic loss is not good. That is a major problem for you. Not being able to convert on the power play is a major problem. Tonight they did, but overall on the season, they haven't been great on the penalty kill, and they were worse in the league last year at it. So again, kind of just adding to the frustration. I credit to them; they were able to kill the penalty that they took. That's a good thing. But this team really needs to improve on areas that aren't 5-on-5. And again, I want to stress that it is important to be good at 5-on-5, and that is a positive that you could take out of this team. But the unfortunate negative is they are poor at those other areas, which are also important.
Yeah, like this is a game of very small margins, right? And those margins are defined by the special teams, where you get a man advantage. You are given a a goal scoring opportunity for 2 minutes every time, and you can't do it at a 20% clip, which is roughly where we want them. Doesn't mean that they're going to be best in the league. It just means that 1 out of 5 times they're going to score one on average. Is ideally what you want to see, if not better. But we're not the Edmonton Oilers here. And then on a penalty kill, you want to be able to kill when you make a mistake, because otherwise you've given this team a leg up for no apparent reason. And thankfully they aren't penalized a lot, right? They only penalized once here, Matthew Barzal high stick. Last year they weren't penalized a lot either. They just couldn't, for the life of them, stop the other teams from scoring, which is a huge disadvantage because you've built yourself up, like in this game, a great cushion, and you just couldn't execute. And then they give themselves the Matt Barzal penalty happens near the end of the second period. So like you get yourself into a position where you could win a game, you don't do it, and then you basically hand it to the other team by giving them a power play, and you're going, oh my God, here we go.
To close out a period, right? Yeah. Like, and that's something that they've done. They've let in goals late at the end of periods. We know the issues that they've had, blowing leads in the third period late. Like that, again, red flags from last year. And do you know, or want to venture? I have the numbers up, but I wanted to add, do you want to venture a guess what their power play and penalty kill percentages so far through 4 games? Again, small sample, but when it was an issue for you a year ago, it's going to be a point of emphasis.
They've got 2 power play goals, I believe. Not even one. So 1 out of maybe 8. It's oh God, I can't do math. It's like not even that. 1 out of 10 probably. So 10%.
It is exactly 10% on the power play.
Okay, because I was doing the math and I'm like, that's getting pretty close to 20%. There's no way. Okay, and the penalty kill is going to be something like 64%.
A little bit, 71.4, but still not good enough. And it's 25th in the league, which is still significant bottom half, bottom 10. Yeah. Two areas that they got to improve in. And that was, I think, a big story for me and emphasized in the second period when you're unable to convert on your 2 chances. You got some shots off, which is good, but just couldn't get one to go.
Need to do better, man. Need to do better.
All right. How about this third period? Shots in the third period. Islanders had more, 10-8, but again, not able to get anything to go.
Yeah, no, nothing get going there on the third period. There was an opportunity near the end, like the very, very end of the third period. There was this opportunity that Hoffer gets a stick on that we couldn't get in. But these are like garbage type goals you can't necessarily count on, right? You don't draft these up necessarily. But the Islanders still end the period with 1.26 xG to 0.5 for St. Louis at 5-on-5. The entire period was played at 5-on-5. They did better in terms of creating better opportunities, 4 high danger chances to their 2. But I think St. Louis, with the 20 shots to our 15, I think did our 20 shot attempts to our 15 shot attempts, just did a better job of having the flow of the game head towards us. We created more out of it, but we still couldn't get it to go.
No, couldn't get it to go. Couldn't get anything to go in that period. So naturally, overtime comes, and the Islanders do Islanders things in overtime. We'll pull up. I'm really liking this goal simulation thing. I think that's going to be a great add to these post games that we're going to be doing this year. So we'll pull that up. We'll take a look at the goal simulation. And as you can see, Islanders get caught in a change. Nice pass from the goalie out, and then it's a 3-on-1, and Adam Pelech doesn't really have much of a chance, nor Sorokin too. By the way.
It's a bad change between Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Matthew Barzal, right? Like right here, you can see them kind of clump up.
Yeah,
takes too long, and then Anthony Duclair goes way too. He doesn't realize that the change is happening either, So he's way into the offensive zone. And yeah, then you've created a 3-on-1 because you've only got Adam Pelech back there. And the St. Louis Blues know that. They have the change, right? The short change, if you will. Great. Like maybe not short change. I guess it's a long change. Doesn't matter. They're at the far side of the ice. Great. They're already behind our defense, or at this point, the forechecker, which is Anthony Duclair, and just awful decision making in overtime. You would think a team that went 9-11 in overtime last year would know better, but
You would
apparently
hope,
not.
but no, unfortunately, I'm definitely, not the case in this one. And it felt like you spoiled a really good Ilya Sorokin performance in this one. You
Yeah.
mentioned a 967 save percentage in the game, let in 1 goal on 30 shots. And coming off the injury and the surgery, I know there was definitely some concern how would he look, and he's looked really good in his 2 starts. Is a 953 save percentage and a 148 goals against average, saving 61 of 64 shots. You really can't ask for too much better out of Sorokin. Like, this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah, and you got him. Sure enough, like they scored in overtime, and maybe he could have been, a little bit more aggressive in attacking the pass that came from Jake Neighbors, or not Jake Neighbors. He scored. It was Philip Broberg, right, who threw the pass.
I
To
believe so.
Neighbors.
Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, he could have been more aggressive in
It was
getting to
Broberg, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. He could have been more aggressive, maybe, and that's like super crazy nitpicky. But at a certain point, you also don't let them come at you on a 3-on-1.
Yeah,
What
he
the
was
goal you gonna do?
he was in his net probably a little bit too far. But again, that feels like nitpicking because it was a deflection in tight off a 3-on-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I it's very hard for me to kill the goalie in that situation.
Exactly. So yeah, that's totally fine. But it is what it is. 967. Good job by him.
Absolutely. Good job by him. Let's do our box score game, Mitch. Who do we got leading the way for the New York Islanders forwards in ice time?
I assume it's Matthew Barzal.
It is Matthew Barzal. We'll pop it back up. 21 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time for Matty B.
Now I don't know I do know the lowest. It's Oliver Wahlstrom at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, is it not?
It is exactly that. 8 minutes and 30 seconds for Oliver Wahlstrom. Hasn't played a ton. He's been the lowest ice time so far. Both you and I have discussed our thought of entering Julien Gauthier into the lineup. Wahlstrom, I think, has been the weakest link on that fourth line. It was McLean 11:29, Cizikas 9:47, and Wahlstrom 8:30. I don't know if and when they will make that change, or like I said, if they will make it. But to me, logically, Wahlstrom would be the first guy to come out. But as we mentioned in other episodes and on the Patreon, it seems like Patrick Waugh really likes Oliver Wahlstrom.
Yeah, exactly. So he's here to stay for a little bit at least, and hopefully he learns to grow into the role he has and maybe grow into more. Maybe.
Maybe. How about leading the way in defensemen?
I know it's not Noah Dobson, but I forget if it's Adam Pelech or Ryan Pulock. So I'm going to go with Ryan Pulock.
It's Pelech, but not by much. I'm not going to pull up the screen because it'll give away the ice times for all of them. But 22:49, Adam Pelech led the way. 22:31 for Ryan Pulock.
Right. It just seemed that going into this game, the top pair was going to be those two guys, and they did a good job. Outside of, you can argue maybe Pelech could have done a better job stopping the Broberg pass, but again, don't give them a 3-on-1.
Yeah, I don't want to kill him on that play in particular, but can I criticize Patrick Waugh for putting him in that situation? I don't love Pelech in overtime.
Yeah,
I would rather go.
Why he's there.
I'd probably go in order: Dobson, Riley, Pulock.
Yeah,
for who I would like out there. Again, in order. I know Dobson's horrific defensively, but in a 3-on-3 with all that open space, you kind of need your puck mover out there, and that's not Pelech's game.
No, it's not. So yeah, it was a strange decision type of thing, but maybe it was a between changes. I haven't looked at the shifts in overtime, although it wasn't that deep. I think it was 3 minutes into overtime, so still a couple minutes to go here.
Yeah,
it's not like they had extended shifts.
It was 2:04 into overtime.
Yeah, so I don't know, weird.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I was gonna say, but as we mentioned, Ilya Sorokin was very good in this game. 29-31. 967 goals against average on the season. Now he is up to a 953, 148 goals against average. He has quality starts in back-to-back games, which is again, really what you like to see early on in this season, by the way, but through 2 starts already has 3.7 goals saved above average.
Perfect. Ideal after the surgery. So it seems like he's back. It is still early, but good signs for sure, man.
Absolutely. That's the positive that I want to take out of this game. For me is Sorokin's play.
Absolutely. So good job.
Shots on goal 34-30, face-off percentage 53-3 to 46-7. Blues with more power play. Each team went over 6 penalty minutes for the Blues to the Islanders 4 hits. You had the Blues with 30-23 for the Islanders, so a more physical game than we've seen so far for the Islanders. Got to give them credit. They blocked a lot of shots, which I like that. 21-12. Giveaways 13-12. Takeaways 5 apiece.
Yeah, I'd rather the giveaways be single digits, but it's getting there. I remember the days, at least in preseason, where it was like 20 some odd giveaways. Whew. Glad we're getting away from that. Better puck management, please.
No, absolutely. So I'm going to take that as a small win. Don't like the moral victory, but 4 points in the Islanders' first 4 games. They're about 500 right now, and they played 3 of their 4 games on the road. Now you come home, you have a little bit of a home stretch. They play on Saturday. So tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and then they play against Detroit on the 22nd.
Let's go. Let's win some home games, baby.
Absolutely. Time to win some home games. Any other final thoughts on this game before we wrap it?
Absolutely not. Let's just get some friggin' wins. No more shutouts. I'm done. I'm done with shutouts. 2 and 4 games is too much.
Can they find the middle ground? Because this is their goals for in their first 4 games. 4-0-6-0. So they're due if against Montreal. They're due for like what are we thinking? 5 goals? Something like that.
I haven't seen how many goals Montreal allowed yesterday, but I know the 3 games before they allowed 13 goals. So
they have allowed their 17 goals against through 5 games. Oof. They have allowed, and they had a shutout in their first game. They won 1-0 over Toronto. So
but allowed 48 shots.
Yeah. So they've allowed 6, 1, 6, and 4 since that shutout.
Ooh, yeah. We're going to get some goals, probably.
Fingers crossed. You got to convert on your chances. That was the story from this game. They weren't able to do that, but you finish up the road trip. Now you come home for some home cooking. Hopefully back in the win column on Saturday.
Absolutely. Hopefully so, man.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us on this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you want bonus content, check out the Patreon. Follow us on social media at Up the Turnpike. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we will catch you next time.